Morning, Ben.
Good morning.
Ben, initially, I want to stick with Villa. We just heard from Unai Emery. West Ham came in with a bid of £57 million for John Duran. Now, this is just a case of West Ham saying to their fans, isn't it? Look at us, we're really trying. When they know they've got no chance whatsoever of getting Duran for that price.
Yeah, no chance in this window anyway. The asking price, at least when PSG made an inquiry, was 100 million euros, so about 85 million quid. And that's less a number that you can do business for and more a price to ward off the market. So this was a second approach by West Ham. Early in the window, they tried for about 40 million. And now 57 million was tabled and it was rejected. The irony is that if West Ham had bid 57 million over the summer when they were more around the 35 to 40 million mark, they would already have the player and they would have already sold their striker situation. But now, of course, as you rightly say, Villa simply don't want to sell.
Excellent point, Ben. Excellent point. The Manchester City, when you listen to Pep, they're going to have some activity in the window, and Kushnerov signed from Lens or Lens for 40 million plus add-ons.
Yeah, the first Uzbek to play in the Premier League, as you rightly say, 40 million euros plus add-ons, and it's the second young centre-back that's going to be coming to Manchester City. The expectation is that Victor Reis will be confirmed in the next 12 or certainly 24 hours. Probably today we'll hear that formal announcement. And this allows Manchester City to complete more spending in the month of January than all of the Premier League clubs last January. 112 million for all Premier League clubs 12 months ago. Manchester City with Kushnerov and Victor Reis. And Reis, by the way, will join now rather than stay with Palmeiras and play in the Club World Cup, which was Palmeiras' original expectation. Omar Marmoush has done his medical, so that should be announced certainly by the end of the week. And then when you add the fact that Manchester City are still talking about Cambiasso, that might be one more for the summer than January. And Douglas Luiz could return to Manchester City on loan if Juventus play ball as well. So Manchester City are certainly busy backing Pep Guardiola.
Now, look, we heard a moment or two ago from Gabi Agbonaho interrogating Unai Emery. Obviously, he's out in the south of France at the moment. We're going to keep him on Marcus Rashford watch because the story is circulating this morning, Ben, that Marcus Rashford, Monaco, might be interested in paying pretty much all of his wages to take him on loan to the south of France.
Yeah, it was interesting because Monaco made an early inquiry at the beginning of the window and it was largely shot down by all parties. But now we're at that stage of the window where the buyer gains a little bit of leverage because sellers start to sweat, and maybe Manchester United are feeling like they need to find a solution for Marcus Rashford. So Monaco could be there. I still think Rashford's preference if he leaves is to go to Barcelona. It's financially difficult. We know that Milan are about to finalise Kyle Walker, so they can't sign Rashford. So that might only leave Dortmund. But I tell you something, sources are not ruling out Marcus Rashford just staying at Manchester United. And after all of this time out and after all of the sort of furore around Rashford and whether he has a future at Old Trafford and maybe the relationship between Amorim and Rashford, maybe, just maybe, despite this queue of suitors inquiring, the end result of this, we shouldn't discount anyway, could still be Marcus Rashford trying to fight his way back into the Manchester United team.
Ben, here's the $1 million question, one you've been waiting for. Is there any movement? Can you tell us anything at all in the Arsenal striker situation?
Yeah, the $1 million question. Yes. And yeah, Arsenal haven't even spent $1 million, so we'll have to wait and see whether or not they can get one over the line. Igor Jesus at Botafogo is a short-term option that Arsenal feel is possible now for around 25, maybe 30 million. Not exactly prolific, but remember, Arsenal may sign one now and then one in the summer, so two could come in. That could be a possibility. Evan Ferguson's injured. Brighton haven't sanctioned an exit either, so I'm not so sure about that one. The most interesting story could be Matheus Cunha, because last night Victor Pereira said he didn't like the attitude of Cunha. The new contract isn't signed. So is there a window of opportunity there in the final few days? It still would cost an astronomical amount, but Arsenal might decide that they need to drop that kind of cash to get that deal over the line. And then, of course, in the summer, Benjamin Sesko, Alexander Isak, still two to watch, but not possible in January.
Ben, just finally, the headline that shouted out at me, I had to look at it twice, actually. Jonjo Shelvey has joined Burnley.
Yeah, it didn't really work out in Turkey for him, so he became a free agent, and Burnley able to snap him up on a free transfer. And I had second take as well, and sort of checked the age and the number of clubs and the fact that he was still active in football. But there he is at Burnley, and I think he might be quite an astute signing.
Yeah, but he's still 32. I mean, he's looked more than 32 for the last 20 years, with all due respect, hasn't he? But hey,
and he will be forever 32.
He will be. It's easy to forget, actually, what a good player he was at his absolute peak. Yeah,
good footballer,
he really was.
Definitely.
Ben, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks, Ben. Speak soon.
Cheers, guys.
Let's get some calls, shall we, on this one. Let's speak to Darren, first of all. Darren's a Manchester United fan. Morning, Darren.
Good morning, Darren.
Yeah, morning, guys. Quickly, before I speak about Rashford, can I just take issue on with Ali about something?
Of course you can.
A number of weeks ago, you were on about black pudding, and you said stone away black pudding were the best.
Without doubt, I'm standing by it, Dan.
Well, I'm sorry, my friend, you're talking out your windy spot. Chadwick's berry black pudding is the best. You don't have black pudding unless you've had berry black pudding.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do with you, Dan. I'm willing to test it. Where can I get this?
Guess where, Bury?
Right.
Well, let's get some Bury black pudding and some Stornoway black pudding in here.
We're going to have a black pudding off.
We'll have a black pudding off.
I'll tell you right now.
Get some mustard on it as well, pal. Get some mustard on it. Right, Rashford, I'm sorry. I'm sick of him walking round like a face like a slap 3-year-old's backside. He's for me, he's just lost it. He don't want to play for United. He proved that when he was strolling across the pitch against Luton last year, when what's the fellow who used to play for Everton? Can't remember his name, but he just walked right past him. Didn't even put a challenge in.
Yeah, I remember.
He wants to play wide left all the time. Well, he's not going to suit into this new system. He's just not. He don't track back. For me, he's just lost it. He's just not interested.
Too much water under the bridge.
Yeah. There's a time when you've got to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For the money he's on, he's just not putting effort in. You know what I mean? I mean, I'd play for nothing, me, if I could. And put a United shirt on. There's too many in that team. Don't care. And I'll tell you something else and all. Rangers. If we play like we've been playing all the last 2 games, Rangers will beat us.
Darren, thank you very much. I'm looking forward to the black pudding off, that's for sure. Let's get some thoughts quickly now from Sam, another United fan. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Sam.
Morning, how you doing, guys?
Yeah,
doing well,
good,
thank you. What are you thinking, mate?
I'd back him if he came back in, 100%. I rate Marcus Rashford. I don't think he's not the problem. I think the whole club is wrong at the moment. I think Amrin's trying to fix that, but he's like what we did to players like Andrew Januzaj and Pogba and Lingard. They've become an scapegoat. When actually we need to support them.
Yeah, but none of those three went on to do anything whatsoever. So wasn't it the right decision to get them out of the club?
No, Scott McTominay's not doing too bad either, and he was made an scapegoat as well. I
take your point. I take your point, Sam. But from where I'm sitting, mate, I just think it's in everybody's best interest that he moves on. I think we all want to see him do well. I just think he needs a fresh challenge, and he needs to buckle down and go on back playing again. That's where I'm in it, mate.
Sam, thank you very much indeed for the call. Appreciated it. Tony, the Welkman on a chilly Bognor beach has been reminiscing. When I turned 18 in 1968, I flew to Italy for my first holiday abroad. All inclusive for 12 days, was served by a lovely waitress who wore red shoes. You know what, Tony? There are some things you just never forget,
magic, Tony.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Tony, I don't know why, Tony. I don't think you're telling us everything about that holiday.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.